This video is not suitable for audiences under 13 years of age. Hello everyone, Mixfant Gaming here. Welcome to my channel. Today we're taking a look at some more test server action. This weekend's test server I was actually able to squeeze on here a little bit early. I'm going to try to do a game here in a little bit. I don't know if there's anybody on the test server, so I might not be able to find a match. But let's at least just first go through my hangar here, what's changed, and what we're going to be testing. So this weekend's test server, there's actually two things. There's been a rework to the shotgun weapons. For better, for worse, I'll let you be the judge of that. And there's a new weapon that's been added to the game called the Atomizer. And it is an energy machine gun. So it falls in the same category as the Punishers, the Punisher Ts, the Avengers. The only difference is this is an energy version. So it will go through energy shields. Will it be stopped by the Aegis shields? I don't know, but it will definitely go through the Ansel shields. So let's quickly look at some of the changes here. If I'll go into my Fenrir here, and we can see that I have equipped two Atomizers. So if you look at the Atomizer here specifically, this is what it looks like. If you look at the details, it says that the damage is 390 with 500 meters range. And oh yeah, this is another important thing about the Atomizer. There is no reload time. It's a very interesting concept. So what they've done here with the Atomizer is essentially the way it works is it has a high accuracy. It makes it effective at a medium range, but after a sustained amount of bursts, so after a long burst and continuous fire of the Atomizer, the gun quote unquote overheats and becomes less effective. So you'll start getting a bit of more spread with bullets. You'll lose your accuracy, but you'll still be able to continuously fire. So if you want to get your accuracy back, you're going to have to stop firing, let the weapon cool down a little bit, so to speak, before engaging your weapon again. So as I mentioned before, the stats are it's 390. The shot interval on this is one shot every 1/10 of a second. And as I just mentioned, it's infinite, so it's endless ammo. So I have it here on the, if I go back here, I have it on the Fenrir. I'm going to test it with a combination of the Avenger. Now the other big change is a complete rework to the shotgun weapons, all of them. You're talking about the Gust, the Storm, the Thunder, the Halo, the Corona, and the Glory. So what have they dreamt up here? And it's kind of a mixed bag. In some instances it makes sense, in other ones it doesn't. So if I go over here to my tier, which I have two Halos and a Corona equipped on that I'm going to test. So let's quickly run through the changes they've done. So for the Gust, they've increased, or I guess you say they decreased the interval of the shots. So instead of a shot happening every half of a second, it now happens every 0.3 of a second. The interval, though, has increased from 1 second, the reload interval, from 1 second to 1.8 seconds, so it's almost doubled. All the shotgun weapons, whether it's the old style shotgun weapons or the new style lockdown shotguns, they all have a dispersion increase of 10%. So that's your accuracy as you go out farther in range. The shotgun pellets actually disperse of an increase of 10%. So in my mind, what they're actually kind of doing here is they're giving a bit of a nerf to the sharpshooter skill. So it's almost now a requirement, in my mind, if you're running shotgun weapons, you have to run the sharpshooter skill because it will counteract this dispersion. I believe the energy shotguns have a sharpshooter of accuracy of 20% dispersion. So now with the combination of this, it cuts that down to a 10% accuracy at range. The old style ones, the Gust and the Storm, and I believe the Thunder has it as well, but I never used the Thunder, so I can't speak intelligently about that. But the Gust and the Storm have a sharpshooter of a 30%. So with this dispersion increase of 10%, it brings that value down to 20%. So I'm not sure about this whole thing. I do agree that shotguns themselves should not be effective at a medium to long range, which is the case for some of them right now. So let's keep going on here. For the Gust, it actually has its damage per shot increased by about 300 points. In comparison, though, to the Halo, it's also had its shot interval reduced to 0.3 seconds, so it shoots faster. Its reload per shot has been increased to 1.8 seconds, so it's the exact same as the Gust. As I mentioned, the dispersion for everything is 10%, and it's had its damage per shot increased by about 415 points, it looks like. So up from 4,150 to 4,565 points of damage. So to me, I don't necessarily agree with this. So between comparing the Gust and the Halo side by side, the Halo is the clear winner. You rarely would want to run the Gust because the Halo has lockdown. It has the same reload interval. It has the same shot interval. It has the horizontal ray, whereas the Gust is more of a cone or a circular pattern. And furthermore, the Halo actually does more damage. So there is no con to the Halo compared to the Gust. However, if you look at the Storm versus Corona, that's completely reversed, in the sense that there seems to be a balance between the Storm and the Corona. So the Storm has actually unfortunately, had its ammo clip decrease from 8 ammos down to 5 shots. So its clip has now been significantly reduced, almost by half. It's been reduced by maybe 40%. The shot interval has been reduced from 0.7 seconds to 0.5 seconds, so it shoots faster. However, the reload interval has been increased from 1.4 seconds to 2 seconds. Similarly with the Corona, its reload interval has also been increased to 2 seconds. The difference, though, between the Storm and the Corona is the Storm actually does more damage per shot. The Storm has its damage actually increased from 7,320 up to 8,052, whereas the Corona has had it's also had its damage per shot increase, but it's still lower than the Storm, from 6,080 damage up to 6,688. So right now the Storm roughly does about 1,300 more damage per shot than the Corona, but the Corona on the flip side has the horizontal shot pattern, it has a lockdown effect, and it can go through energy shields. Whereas the Storm can't do any of that, but it has increased damage. So to me, the Storm and the Corona are a little bit more balanced side-by-side comparison between the medium versions, whereas the Gust and Halo are not, and I don't understand that concept. Why can't you balance the Gust and the Halo just like you have with the Storm and the Corona? It makes a lot more sense that way. Now, if we go on to the difference between, I'm trying to find here, okay, here we go. The stats between the Thunder and the Glory, if I can find it here. So, I can't really find the stats on the Glory. Let me see if I can get back here. Oh, here we go. Oh, sorry. So between the Thunder and the Glory, and we all know the Thunder just sucks. The Thunder, it has sucked, it will continue to suck, and it's in the same category as the Gust versus the Halo. There is no reason to run Thunder versus the Glory. So the Thunder has had its reload interval increase from 2 seconds to 2.2 seconds, so a small increase in the reload speed. Its damage per shot has been increased slightly, about maybe, I'm looking at it, maybe about 9%. It's gone from 10,592 up to 11,651. Whereas, if you compare it to the Glory has also had its reload interval increased to 2.2 seconds. So again, it's the exact same as Thunder. However, its damage per shot is more than the Thunder, going from 14,400 up to 15,840. And again, with a similar argument before, the Glory does a horizontal pattern, so you can lock down more targets at once, if possible. It bypasses energy shields. It does more damage, and it locks down Oh, actually, no, I think I already mentioned lockdown. Anyways, as you can tell, it has a lot more advantages to the Thunder. You will never, ever run Thunder. And the only reason you ever would if you're a beginner player and that's what you have access to. If you have Glories, you're going to run Glories. Really, the Gust and Halo comparison, as well as the Thunder and Glory comparison, should be reworked to be similar to how the Storm and Corona are balanced. Those two, I think, are balanced a lot more than the other two categories. But I have my hanger set up here of mainly shotguns, and we're going to see how some of this works out. So, a couple things I wanted to point out, though, which is really starting to bother me about these test servers. And one of the things is Quantum Radar. I have no idea if they fixed it yet. I hope and pray they have, because it's getting to be a really annoying issue in the game. You run Quantum Radar to go against Aljuns and Lokis and stuff, and you're basically wasting an active module because it does absolutely nothing. So I really, really hope they've fixed that. One of the other things I've noticed is I threw in my Nemesis here. And I don't play Nemesis, so I'm going to probably suck at it. But anyways, I had to throw on the Nemesis pilot here. I wanted to actually use the Adrian pilot. And I do have one here. Where is he? Right here. And the reason I didn't do it is because if you notice here, if I go into the skills, its unique ability apparently doesn't work with the Nemesis on a test server. It has that red exclamation mark. Why? It works on all the bots on the live server. Why the hell doesn't it work on the test server? So I didn't want to have a pilot on here with a completely useless skill. So I threw on the one for the actual Nemesis itself, even though that pilot for myself, I believe, is not the greatest pilot anyways. I just didn't want to have to level up a regular pilot. Speaking of pilots, though, and this has been a real pain point. The last probably 3 test servers I've noticed. So if we go into my pilots here, let's just go in the menu here, and I'll show a quick example here. When you go on the test server, you can actually purchase pilots from the offers. There's usually one. About half of the pilots have one in the offers of the legendary pilots that you can actually just get quickly for free. And they come at level 70, so you don't have to worry about leveling them up. So if I just look at my pilots, I'm just going to show you. Let's say I take, you'll notice that this Olga here is at level 1, and this is what I'm going to show you. So I don't think I have the pilot here for the Invader, okay? So let's go find the pilot in the offers that's for the Invader. And I didn't specifically buy them because I know there is this issue. So, pilot, I can't remember. Oh, this is the Bulwark one. So then this is the Invader pilot. Yeah, this is the Invader pilot. So I don't have one in my inventory. Come on, go back. So you notice it says free. It says level 70 pilot. I go, okay, I'm going to get this pilot. Okay, I got it. I got a level 70 legendary pilot. Awesome. I go back into my bot here. I click here. I say change. I go to my inventory. And where is that Invader pilot? Here. Look at that. He's level 1. It takes so much friggin' time on the test server to set up your pilots and skills and stuff. Do you think I'm going to spend the time, especially when the test server lags so much, as sometimes it does, to level a legendary pilot all the way up to level 70? Come on, Pixonic, fix some of this stuff. Give us a means to speed up our process of creating our hangars so we can actually do our proper tests. It's just, it's very, very cumbersome. So anyways, those are my couple pain points I have with the current test system. So I'm going to try to drop into a game here, see what happens. I'm going to throw caution into the wind, play with some of these bots. I don't have an Aojun in here, so I'm probably going to get completely roasted. I usually like to run an Aojun, but I didn't know how well an Aojun running Glories would actually test on the test server. So I decided to stick with more appropriate brawlers. Anyways, so without any further ado, let's drop into the action. Alright, finally got a match. Team deathmatch. I had to come back later because there was nobody on the test server earlier when I got on. Alright, so what are we going to start here? Let's do the Phantom. Alright, let's just take our time here. Let's play around with these halos and see how the change has affected the game style and the gameplay. Let's go over here. Can I hit this guy? Alright, so the weapons do fire faster. So I've noticed that already. Okay, who can I try to hit? Okay, get that Inquisitor up there. Come on, I'm coming right for you. 2, 3. Oh yeah, they fire a lot faster. Oh, yeah, they're really slow to reload. No, I don't like this at all. You can't brawl like this. It's really hard to brawl. I don't know about this. Pixonic, I'm not sure about this change. I prefer the old style a lot better, if I'm being perfectly honest. You get this nice little burst damage here initially, but it just lets you get enough off as you're coming into a battle. Oh geez, that must be the Atomizer fire that's going through there. Okay. Alright, let's try to go after this side. Oh, geez, that hurt. Okay, let's go over to this side. Ooh, nice little target. Oh crap, see, I'm out of ammo. Look at this. Oh, this is, you can't use this weapon for brawling anymore. This is horrible. No, Pixonic, change it back. No, the only thing that needs to change for the energy lockdown weapons, actually all these shotguns, is remove your sharpshooter skill. That's the problem with it, is that they're too effective at range. Okay, I'm going to save up my ammo, go in there. Come on. Darn, I didn't get a kill. I got to get at least one kill. Oh, crap, leech, not good, not good. Back up. Oh, I'm going to die. I gotta go. Oh, stop. Damn it. Go away. Okay, at least I got his last stand triggered. Not doing very good here. We're definitely winning, but I'm not doing that decent, but that's okay. Okay, I want out of this spot soon. I want to drop into something that has the Atomizer on it. I want to see how that works. Okay, so he's jumping over here. Get out of the range. Getting hit. Come on, I want the kill. Oh, damn it. Quit stealing my kills. Oh, crap. Okay, well, this is going to kill me. Somebody here's got to kill me. Oh, let's go after Bulgazari. Oh, somebody just death marked me. Alright, come on. Somebody kill me. I want to drop in with another bot. Alright. Okay, there's that one guy singled out there at B. Let's go over here with the Nemesis. I have 2 Atomizers on this thing. I want to see how this works. Okay, so he's in phase shift. No, didn't get it. Alright, so let's fire off these Atomizers. So decent accuracy right now. So firing, and I can tell now my dispersal pattern is gotten a little bit wider, so I'm not very accurate right now. Even though he's only about 200 meters out, not all my shots were hitting him. So the dispersal aspect of it after it starts to overheat is definitely noticeable. So let's see, can we get this guy down his last stand? Fire off the rockets, and yeah, okay, that last stand triggered. Alright, let's go on in here. Can I maybe get... No, I can't get that kill here. I'm not doing very good for kills. Ooh, crap, and how many? This is not good for me. Oh, and a kid. Oh, yay. Oh. Alright, let's go in here. Drop in with the Fenrir. Combination of Avenger and 2 Atomizers. See what we can do here. So, yeah, the Atomizers, they've already lost their accuracy. So, yeah, no, in my opinion, the Atomizer are not very, very good. At least not right now. They lose their accuracy way too quickly. Now, that being said, there might be pilot skills that increase it, like a sharpshooter for the shotguns as well as for the kinetic weapons. I wouldn't be surprised if they institute something like that for these type of weapons as well. So just take this with a grain of salt. This might change when it comes to pilot skills. Ooh. Okay, come on. I don't even think I'm hitting him. No, you must be below that, the other side of that ramp. Oh, that, wherever he is, he's shooting over top of that ramp. Okay, he's coming up here. Alright, let's go on up top. Oh, it's Ares. Let's just wait for our chance. Come on up. Come on, come on, come on. I want one kill. Give me one kill. Let's move on over here. Come on. Yes, there we go. Finally got a kill. Can we get another one? Oh, yeah, that spread is horrible on that Atomizer. Even at short range, I'm not hitting the targets. So that Algen's gonna, I don't know if he's gonna go for me or, no, he's going for that other target over here. Okay, so he should be able to land in front of me here soon. Oh, I went the wrong way. Gotta go back, gotta go back. He doesn't even have last stand. Nice. Can I get him? Can I get him? Oh, damn, I didn't get that kill either. Over here, can I get... No, I can't steal him. Oh, this is just my luck. This is usually how it is for me in a real live match, too. That's okay. We're just trying to test things out, and honestly, the best way to test is to have a team deathmatch. So I'm fine with this. If it was Beacon Rush or Domination, one team can overpower the other one pretty quickly. Alright, so that stupid Phantom is going to be a little bit annoying. Okay, so this kid is going to be in my way, isn't he? You're going to block me wherever I go. Get out of, I'm trying to shoot. Get out of my way. Oh, sure. Why does every single place I go, you go? Alright. What else can I do here? Can I come over top here and get him, maybe? Come on. Of course I didn't get the kill. Of course. Alright, well, looks like we're down to only one player left. Come on. Yeah, that dispersal pattern on the Atomizer isn't very good. I'm not really impressed, to be honest, with this weapon. It doesn't seem to do a huge amount of damage, which is okay. Not every weapon needs to be overpowered, and I'm kind of glad about that. But it needs to be a little bit more accurate, I think. At least to be useful. I still would probably take this over top of the Punisher T, though, to be honest. But I haven't done a direct side-by-side comparison, so I could be wrong with that. Okay, just give me a minute, Piper, please. All right, let's see how we did. All right, let's look at the team here. And what the hell? Really? You form up a squad on the test server, a near full squad? Come on, guys. You can't just play solo. You don't need to go in there and probably on comms and trying to rush over everybody. But at least it was an okay game. But look at those honor points. Oh, and the honor points aren't even ordered. It's all ordered by damage. When did they do that on the test server? Did they never put the honor point system here? That's kind of unusual. I didn't expect to see that. I had the lowest number of honor points, and yet I'm 4th place. Huh. Anyways, that was a game. So let's head back to the hangar, and I will give you my final thoughts. All right, so my final thoughts for this weekend's test server. Well, it really was a kind of a mixed bag of everything, wasn't it? So let's start with the shotgun rework. I don't like it at all. It's the fact is that almost all the shotguns had their reload almost doubled. And not only that, the frequency, or as quickly as it can unload their entire clip, was increased quite a bit. So for myself, when I was playing, and I've seen other YouTubers out there running, for instance, the Gusts, you can empty the entire clip in about 3 seconds. But then now you're up to 2 seconds to reload one single shot. You know, the shotguns are meant to be a brawling weapon. They should be good up close and personal. The problem with the shotguns currently on the live server, and has been since day one, is their effectiveness at range. This whole change that they've done to increase the damage, excuse me, to increase the damage somewhat, to increase the how quickly you can actually shoot the weapons and empty the entire clip, all combined together gives you quite a bit more DPS until you hit the point where you have to reload your weapons. Since you can unload your clip in just a matter of a few seconds, usually those are the few seconds you're running into battle. By the time you get into close range with these shotguns, your clip is empty and it takes you 2 seconds per shot to reload. It makes the shotguns essentially worthless at close range at that point. Yes, people can change their playstyles, and I think they should, so that if they're in something, for instance, like a Phantom or a Blitz, and they're rushing in, hold off your shots until you get up close and personal. But that being said, once you're up close and personal and you're firing at point blank range, more often than not, you're fighting more than one bot, and once you empty that clip, you're basically a sitting duck, because unless you have a Phantom and you can blink out of there, there's not much you can do to fight back. So the shotguns are supposed to be a brawling weapon, and in my opinion, they've removed the brawling aspect of this weapon altogether. Simply because they are too effective at range. And that's why they've added this 10% dispersion to these weapons to make it so that at range you don't have as very much accuracy. However, all these weapons people run with a pilot, the sharpshooter skill, which counteracts that dispersion anyways. Yes, with this dispersion increase, you're not going to have quite as much accuracy at range, but the old style weapon, the Gusts, the Storms, the Thunder, I think it's a 30% sharpshooter skill on the pilot. So with the dispersion, it brings it down to 20%, which is exactly what it is right now on the lockdown shotguns. So that sharpshooter skill is 20%, and with the dispersion, it brings it down to 10%. So yes, they might not be as effective at range, but they've also made it so they're not as effective up close and personal, except for that very first burst damage of a few seconds when you can empty your entire clip. So I don't agree with how they've done this rework of the shotguns. They really should just make it so that the shotguns themselves are not effective at all at range. And how do you do that? By just removing the sharpshooter skill completely. The shotgun weapons themselves should not have a sharpshooter skill to increase accuracy to make them so that they're effective at range. If you remove that sharpshooter skill from the pilots, then I think that alone might fix the problem. They still would be effective at up close and personal brawling. They have a decent reload so that you can fight your way out of a close brawl, but yet you don't want to use them at range because you're not going to be very effective in doing any damage. So that would be my solution, is remove that skill and put the weapon damages back to how they were, except for one thing, and that would be balance the weapons appropriately. Right now, the Corona and the Storm, I think, are balanced. There are pros and cons to each of them. But as for the Gust and Halo, there is really no con to go into the Halo over the Gust. You're almost always going to want to do the Halo. And similarly, between the Thunder and the Glory, there is no con to use the Glory as compared to the Thunder. So what they should do is do exactly what they did with the Corona and the Storm, is that the Gusts have more damage output than the Halo. But the Halo maintains its horizontal pattern of dispersion. It has lockdown, and it can penetrate energy shields. Same thing goes with Glory. It can penetrate energy shields. It has that horizontal dispersion pattern, and it can lock down enemies. But the Thunder just deals more damage, period. So they're really these shotguns really should have a balance to them. There should be instances where you would want to equip one over the other. There's pros and cons to each. Right now, I think they have the balance right between the Storm and the Glory. No, sorry, between the Storm and the Corona, and they need to work on the heavy versions and the light versions. So that's my opinion about the shotgun. Now about this Atomizer. It's interesting concept, continuous, unlimited fire. The downfall is if you keep firing, you have less accuracy as the guns overheat. Now, one thing I wish they would put in here is some kind of visual aspect to show when your gun is overheating. With so much firepower being thrown around the field, it's very often hard to see how your fire, especially in situations like this where you're trying to discern whether your weapons are accurate or not. And I found on the test server it was really hard for me to determine whether my Atomizer fire was still accurate or if it was starting to disperse and being less accurate. And the only way I could tell would be I could see my hit box indicator start to flicker, meaning that some of my shots were hitting and some of them weren't. If they could add a visual aspect to, for instance, the weapon themselves, if you look at how the Tempests and things work when they reach an accelerator state, they start to glow kind of a little bit of a red. Well, add that type of mechanic to the Atomizer so that when it starts to overheat, it maybe glows a little bit. So you can tell that it's beginning to overheat and therefore it's beginning to lose its accuracy. Now, we weren't given any stats about how long it takes to lose your accuracy versus how long it takes to get it back. But I went into some custom games just to play around with it. And I noticed you had pretty good accuracy up to about 3 seconds of continuous fire. Then you started to lose accuracy. Once it hit about 5 seconds or so, you had an extremely big dispersional pattern. And so you had very few shots hitting at range anyways. So from what I've been able to determine, at about 2.5, 3 seconds, you start to lose accuracy. At about 5 seconds, you hit kind of the maximum you will in terms of losing accuracy. And as for being able to cool down that, it takes about 5 seconds as well. So it seems to get 5 seconds to hit the maximum dispersion and 5 seconds to cool down those weapons. And I tested it once you hit about 3 seconds and starting to lose accuracy, and the cooldown was about 3 seconds. So it seems to be in line with how long does it take to get to the state in which your weapons begin to overheat is pretty much analogous to the same amount of time it would take for you to stop shooting and get them to cool down. Now, once you hit about 5 seconds, if you kept shooting, your accuracy didn't seem to get any worse than about at 5 seconds. So you could keep shooting for another 20 seconds. And from my test, it seemed to determine that if you stop shooting, it still would only take about 5 seconds to cool down your weapons. So I'm sure the numbers will change over time as they test this on the test server. But to me, 5 seconds seems to be that cutoff point where you get the worst accuracy, as well as if you stop shooting for 5 seconds, you tend to cool down your weapon and you have your full accuracy again at range. As for the damage output, I still have to test a little bit more. I'm unsure. They seem to do decent damage. I personally think I would still rather run the machine guns. And well, okay, let me caveat that. The Atomizer is a medium weapon. I don't think I would ever run a Punisher T. So if I had to choose between a medium slot, it would be an Atomizer definitely over the Punisher T. However, last week they did what they call a quote-unquote huge rework to the machine guns. I have no idea what that meant. We were given no information whatsoever. I don't know if it was in preparation for this Atomizer stuff that was coming on. But from a couple of the test server videos I'd seen on it, it seemed to indicate that they increase the accuracy and the rate of fire for the regular machine guns. Now, since we don't have any information on it, the caveat of that is, did they really increase the rate of fire, or did they perhaps reduce the clip size, and therefore it appeared as though the rate of fire had increased, but instead they just reduced the clip size, and so you ran out of ammo faster. As for the accuracy thing, well, maybe they did change the accuracy a little bit at range. I don't see why. The Avengers are extremely effective, especially with that sharpshooter skill on it. The Punishers and Punisher Ts still need a hell of a lot of work. Nobody uses them. And it's just like with the balancing of all the other weapons in this game, there are weapons in there that really, really need some love. To bring them up to speed in order to have more viable options in the game. And that's what's been plaguing this game for quite a while, is the release of these new weapons, new bots, and no love or attention is given to the older style, except for when they decide they want to nerf the older weapons, making the newer ones just de facto even more powerful. So those are my thoughts for this test server. I wanted to try to do a side-by-side comparison of the shotguns as well as the Punisher T versus the Atomizer, seeing kind of which one does more damage and DPS over time. I unfortunately wasn't able to figure out exactly how to do a good side-by-side video with my video software. Something I'd have to play with because I've never tried to do it before. But maybe next weekend's test server, I'll be able to figure that out and kind of bring that to you. So if you have any comments, please leave them below. If you like this video and this content, give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And until next time, cause some mayhem in the field for me.